Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
the geography of British music explained.
This video is sponsored by Hook Theory. I'm certainly biased, but I've always thought it impressive how many great bands and artists hail from Great Britain. Every corner of this country has produced musicians who have gone on to conquer the world. Now, despite being from England myself, the majority of you guys, the people who watch my videos, are not from the UK. And I know that particularly to outsiders, British geography can be a little bit confusing. Even in this intro alone, I've already referred to my home country by 3 different names: Great Britain, the UK and England. So today I'm going to simultaneously clear up any confusion you have about what exactly these islands and countries are called, and show you which corners of these islands produce some of the most revered and successful bands of all time. So what we are looking at right now on the screen is the British Isles. Within the British Isles, there are 2 completely separate sovereign states, 2 different countries: the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland. Now, most of this video will focus on my home country, the United Kingdom, but Ireland has also given the world its fair share of amazing bands and artists. The most famous, I think, would be U2, who formed in Ireland's capital.
They hacked my phone. I didn't put them on my phone. Why are they there?
U2 is... Anytime you go to the car, autoplay, if you connect it to the Bluetooth, U2 starts playing. Crazy.
City, Dublin, and other famous Irish acts include the Cranberries, Hosier, and Enya. So that's the Republic of Ireland. But as you can see, the top part of this island, the island of Ireland, instead is part of the United Kingdom. This part is called Northern Ireland. Perhaps the most famous Northern Irish musician is Van Morrison, who was born in Northern Ireland's capital city, Belfast.
It's known as Northern Ireland?
It's Northern Ireland.
But it's part of UK?
Part of the UK, yeah. But its region is Northern Ireland. But I don't know this guy, so I guess I don't know any Northern Ireland artists then, because he was the most famous.
Rock band The Undertones also hail from Northern Ireland. So Northern Ireland is not part of the country of Ireland, but instead part of the country of the United Kingdom, the UK. The full name, actually, of the United Kingdom is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So it's a United Kingdom of this part, Northern Ireland, and this part, Great Britain. This island is called Great Britain. And the island of Great Britain is subdivided into 3 parts, 3 constituent countries: England, Scotland and Wales. Now this is where it can get confusing, because I mentioned earlier that there's only...
I thought it was its own
country?
thing.
Well, its own region.
2 countries on screen right now, Ireland and the UK, but then I said that we've also got these countries, England...
I guess maybe think of them like kind of like states in here in the States, maybe that. They have like 4 states. Maybe that would be a good comparison, I don't know. And
Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland. England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland aren't really countries in the typical sense that we use that word. They're what's called constituent countries. It's actually kind of easier to think of them as states or provinces rather than constituent countries, because these 4 constituent pieces make up one unified country, the United Kingdom. But anyway, we'll save England for last, as it's the biggest, and instead take a look first at Scotland. Scotland has given the world many classic artists, including Simple Minds, Travis, and Franz Ferdinand, who all formed in Scotland's biggest city, Glasgow.
So, if you're from Scotland, are you British?
Yeah, I think you're both Scottish and British. And if you're from England, you're English and British. And from Wales, you're Welsh and British. I think that's how it would go.
Wait, what's Welsh? Who's Welsh?
Wales.
Oh,
because like,
Welsh?
Yeah, Welsh, yeah. Because like, for example, if you're from Florida, you're Floridian, but you're also American.
Oh.
So I would think that's what kind of goes.
Oh, okay.
In 70s teen pop sensation, the Bay City Rollers formed in Scotland's capital city of Edinburgh, and other Scottish artists include Calvin Harris, Jerry Rafferty, Lewis Capaldi, and
that's Calvin popular. Harris, a lot of people.
Scottish. Lewis Capaldi is Scottish. Okay.
Of course, the Proclaimers. So that's Scotland. Let's now move down to Wales. Despite its small size, Wales has still given the world many amazing musicians, including Sir Tom Jones, the Stereophonics, the Manic Street Preachers, Bonnie Tyler and Shirley Bassey. Dame Shirley Bassey was born in the Welsh capital city of Cardiff. So, like I said, the UK is comprised of...
I don't think I know any Welsh of the names.
4 constituent countries. We've looked at Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Now it's time for the big boy, England. England has a population bigger than all three of the other constituent countries combined, and therefore logically has yielded the most noteworthy bands and musicians. Even England's capital city alone, London, has a bigger population than any of the constituent countries that we've talked about so far. There are so many artists that have come from London. So let me just whiz through a few of them right now. David Bowie, Elton John, Adele, The Kinks, The Who, Led Zeppelin, Queen, Coldplay, the list goes on. However, something that does inflate this list is the fact that many aspiring musicians...
No, not everybody. The people, not them.
...moved to London to help further their career. For example, Coldplay frontman Chris Martin is actually from the county of Devon down here, but he moved to London to go to university and wound up forming Coldplay whilst he was there. London is very much the epicentre of the British music industry, so any band who has any success in any part of the UK is likely to wind up moving to London to further their career. The Rolling Stones are another band who were ultimately formed in London, but weren't originally from London. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, for example, were actually from Dartford in Kent, down here. Now, there's one city in England which is perhaps known better worldwide because of the bands that came from it. I'm talking, of course, about Liverpool. Liverpool was, of course, the original home of the Beatles, but the Beatles weren't the only famous band from Liverpool. In fact, the Beatles were part of a music scene based in Liverpool known as Merseybeat, named after the River Mersey that runs through
What do I know from Liverpool to know Liverpool?
Their football team?
That's only a football team there?
That's the only thing I know about Liverpool, their football team. Yeah, that and the Beatles. I don't know what else.
Because I heard of Liverpool. Probably a lot in the news, Liverpool.
Liverpool. Perhaps the second most famous Merseybeat band was Jerry and the Pacemakers.
So Barry, cross the Mersey, I know.
Since the Beatles, Liverpool has also spawned other successful artists, including Frankie Goes to Hollywood and Echo and the Bunnymen. Another much larger city in the northwest region of England is Manchester, which, as England's third largest city, has also given the world many famous artists, including Oasis, the Smiths and the Stone Roses. The Stone Roses were actually part of a music scene based in Manchester in the late 80s and early 90s called Manchester, which also included other local bands like the Happy Mondays, James and the Charlatans. Now, we can't mention Oasis and Manchester without also mentioning their sworn rivals, Blur, who hail from Colchester in Essex down south. In the 1990s, Oasis and Blur were pitted against each other in what was dubbed the Battle of Britpop, which was in part a North versus South rivalry. Two English cities made famous by their long-established universities are Oxford and Cambridge, and beyond university graduates, these cities have also given us some famous artists, including Supergrass and Foals from Oxford, and Radiohead from nearby Abingdon, and Clean Bandit and Pink Floyd from Cambridge. However, I must note that although David Gilmour, Roger Waters and Syd Barrett of Pink Floyd all came from Cambridge, the band ultimately formed and was based in London, as is the case with so many British bands. If you're interested in music theory, then you'll be interested in example, music theory, Clifford music theory is the city of Leicester, which is where the band Kasabian come from. Moving down towards the south again, the city of Bristol was known for its trip-hop scene in the early 90s, which included artists...
for music, there's like a hub for it, that's where everyone goes to, because it's where they're going to feel like they're going to blow up.
No, it makes sense. Everybody, went to the capital city. I mean, that's where everything was, at the time.
Such as Massive Attack and Portishead. And moving even further south to the bottom tip of the UK...
I think here, for rock, it's like, it could be like, the Seattle's, the Washingtons, that over there.
For rock?
Because I think of Nirvana, I think of all these groups.
Honestly, I don't know like a rock epicenter, but I would say like for country music, it's like Tennessee. I would say, the South. What?
We're talking about rock.
No, I'm
country.
Right, because for rock, I don't know where it would be centered. I have no idea.
Where do you think it would be? Don't confuse me in throwing country.
No, I'm just saying country is easy for me to pinpoint. I feel like rock. I kind of feel like rock is all over the place. I don't know.
We reached the isolated county of Cornwall, but even Little Cornwall has given the world some noteworthy musicians, including Aphex Twin and Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac. Now, a moment ago, I mentioned the county of Devon. The most famous band to come from Devon is Muse. Moving along the south coast, we find this little island. This is the Isle of Wight. Unlike the other little island over here, which I'll mention later, the Isle of Wight is 100% part of England. It is by no means a separate country or anything like that. And despite its small size,
even is there, like the population.
The Isle of Wight has yielded some famous musicians, including the band Level 42, and more recently one of my new favourite bands, Wet Leg. Moving further eastward along the coast, we reach Brighton, which is actually where I went to university to study music, and it was at the very same music college that I went to that the band The Kooks were formed. Other famous acts...
The Kooks?
Yeah.
from Brighton include Royal Blood, and although not a Brighton native, Fatboy Slim is well known for having made Brighton his home. Now, returning up north again, a region we've not discussed yet is Yorkshire. Despite taking its name from the city of York, nowadays the largest cities in Yorkshire are actually Sheffield, which has given the world many bands, including Pulp, Def Leppard, The Human League, Arctic Monkeys, and the singer Joe Cocker, and Leeds, which gave us the Kaiser Chiefs.
Leo Denzian, a person from Leeds.
Ooh, that's complicated, I think.
Leo Denzian, I would not think the person from Leeds is Leo Denzian. Huh. Leedsian, I would say.
Yeah.
Or Leedson.
And if we head even further north in England, we reach the city of Newcastle. The band The Animals, known for their version of House of the Rising Sun, were from Newcastle. Sting, from the band The Police, is from the nearby town of Wallsend. And a more recent artist to come from the Newcastle area is Sam Fender. Now, we've mentioned England's biggest city, London, and its third largest city, Manchester, but we're yet to mention the UK's second largest city, Birmingham. Birmingham is in the West Midlands of England, and many iconic and famous artists came from Birmingham, including ELO, Black Sabbath, Dexys Midnight Runners, Duran Duran, and the Moody Blues.
Okay.
So that is England, but as I've mentioned before, we also have this little island here. This is the Isle of Man, and unlike the Isle of Wight down here, the Isle of Man isn't actually part of the United Kingdom at all. It's a crown dependency, just like Jersey and Guernsey down by France. A crown dependency isn't a sovereign country, but it's a self-governing territory which, I guess, effectively belongs to the UK, but isn't part of the UK.
Huh?
But despite all of this, even the Isle of Man has its claim.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like what? Like
Greenland?
No, like Guam? Kind of, maybe? In that sense.
Claim to musical fame in being the birthplace of the Gibb brothers, better known as the Bee Gees. So, in summary, these are the British Isles, with the two main islands being called Ireland.
Call them by something completely different.
Gibber Brothers?
And Great Britain. On the island of Ireland, we have the Republic of Ireland, which is its own separate country, and we also have Northern Ireland, which is one of four constituent...
The video was like a music lesson, but also geography lesson. A little bit about the territories of England. That's cool.
Countries, along with England, Wales, and Scotland, that make up the United Kingdom.
Looks like Haiti flag.
Oh.
Hey, look.
Of four constituent countries, along
The red and blue.
along with England, Wales, and Scotland, that make up the United Kingdom.
I really thought Scotland was like on its own, very independent.
It's dependent.
It's very dependent.
And Northern Ireland. Of course, there are plenty other British artists that I didn't mention. So if you can think of a classic British artist and where they come from, leave it in the comments down below.
Really cool.
As you may be able to guess from this video, beyond being a music nerd, I'm also a geography nerd. So if there's any other...
Yes. That was a good video.
Yeah.
That was a good
well
video.
done. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.